알랑 로고 작더라 기랑 보로고 하는라 기랑 보로고 몽을 자다 있는 월월 아통 짐거 월 인을 빌라 남점 자노와 다오 티그 몽을 나양 냐롱전 자노와 친구 요스 사르르 조니
My name is Kalaze and I was born and brought up from Kohima. I am a student of Damaskar College, currently pursuing my Bachelor of Arts in History. When this project Empathy crew come to our college, I never heard about the word empathy. For me, like I've never delved deep into the history of my own village, but I am still looking forward to learn more about it.
So kia bo sa pasekibing le kia bo ki ho puna se kia chale.
Oh, sila. Oh.
My name is Lung Lorkom and I'm from Konyo community, Mon. I'm currently doing my bachelor's in education from Modern College. And today, as a part of Project Empathy, I'll be going to interview one of my elders.
Ayun na video shoot thôi ta là để là they are telling you to shoot him also. When this project was introduced by our HOD, I planned to do it with my friend who was also Lotha, but when the time came to make this project, she just refused it, saying that she wouldn't be able to give time. So I ended up making this project alone.
Ho le hai le, ho lo ha ho, lo ta zu ku e mon ju, zan ta zu ku, lo ta zu ku e mon ju. Sen zum da tu ku.
I first came to Nagaland many years ago when my husband was serving here. I didn't know the place, I didn't know the language, but somehow I felt at ease. There was a warmth, an openness, a way people sat together and truly listened to one another. It stayed with me. At the time, I was working on empathy in other parts of the country. And I remember thinking, maybe the answers we are searching for about empathy, about living together, about care, maybe they already exist here in the everyday life of the Naga people.
In most cases, they would hang the heads of those raccoons as trophies.
Okay.
Yeah, so back then when hunting was still practiced, they would keep the antlers of the deers, the skulls of the animals in front of their houses. In a way like trophies for people to come and see that and know that you're a very skilled hunter.
And everybody would eat together in this.
Yeah. And then this is the spoons.
All right. Spoons.
Yeah, spoons, yeah.
Ole! Wow! Utiji!
Somewhere around 94, 95.
Oh my God, really?
So he actually got to experience the Indo-Nahawa.
Okay, D. To be each how I'll make them a shui. Around there. Into what the Tadeva, not also the one the Hawaiians.
So in 56, they cleared the village, fighting for this Naga sovereignty, and then they came back in 98 to this settlement of the there where there's a settlement over there. They started there and then they expanded further. Our grandparents, they, in a way, they speak very indirectly. They twist and turn their words, and then they don't directly give us their advice. In a way, they want us to learn from our own ways. They say that in the village, people do like this, or that is the way it's done. Things to do with kindness is, say for example, my house needs to be reconstructed and I'm going to remove the roofs. Then even that time, then my clanman will come and then help me in building up my house or clearing up the roof or anything. So that's a kind of community feeling or that closeness that the clans have amongst themselves.
Right.
Yeah, right. See, the main purpose of the I should say warriors back then. So their main role was to protect the women and children. So whatever they do, wherever they were working, they would always be heavily armored, and then you are never allowed to attack anybody that is, say, if he's holding a baby.
Can you share your understanding of your tribal identity and its significance in your life?
So to say, if I was to compare myself with other people, then I would say I know more about my tribe, my identity than most people that are going about in social media, putting on a traditional attire and then putting the caption as going back to roots. Everywhere I go, I always carry something, like it could be as simple as a badge or a tag that says I'm Naga, along with me everywhere I go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Identity has got to do with several aspects. The language alone, dialect alone is not identity. It has got to do with the character. What is more important with identity is my character. We, the Nagas in particular, are very fond of talking about identity. But what is important is what I speak, do I mean it or not? What I profess, can I achieve it or not?
The village went through its own share of challenges. So the path that we just walked ahead, the path that was made of boulders, that is actually called the reconciliation path.
Okay.
It has to do with a few killings that happened in Konoma. The elders, they decided that this needs to stop.
Right.
So they arranged 6 people from each kill. We have 3 kills, Semoma, Mehrama, Tevoma. And then with all the 6 people from each kill and then the village council and some few village elders, they were given the responsibility to tackle the problems of what is happening in the village with the killings and everything. They went about talking to all the families of the victims and then asking them if they were willing to forgive. An announcement was made from the very top fort of the village that on the next day, on that particular day, early in the morning, nobody should come out of their homes. Let them stay inside and then reflect back on what had gone wrong. A grandfather of ours, early in the morning, he woke up the next day and then he saw that the village was very quiet. Not even the cats or dogs or the roosters or anybody had come out outside of their homes that day. And then he actually said that a wind of change, I guess we can call it, a wind of change was coming towards Konoma now.
Unless few of us put all these stories in black and white, the oral history will be lost. They will tend to forget the name of their own village. We were displaced. We lived in jungles. He has experience. We lived in jungles.
My village was burned down 7 times.
Same thing with us. Epidemic came and hundreds of people died. Why? Because we had to live on half-burned paddy. Granaries were burned. I think that was one of the causes of the disease. Many people died, but we never became refugees. This is the difference. This is the resilience. We never became the refugees.
Politically,
because Naga wants peace. That is why even Naga National Army, they hesitate. They have total hesitation to set war against the Indian military. It doesn't mean that we hate India. Many a time I used to say, we are not opposing the Indian people. But government of India is never success to their own commitment.
We cannot change the past, but we can always look towards empathy and compassion, and that is what I'm trying to do through my work. We can bring more and more, not only these words, but these experiences into our day-to-day lives and in our discourse, and how we are relating to each other. So that is just a small effort from my end, and I hope that we are able to reach out to people and connect to their hearts.
It wasn't always easy, facing realities, asking difficult questions, and hearing some tough stories. It was a path of discovery, of understanding a community and understanding myself. Naga history has always lived in voices, in stories passed down from elders and ancestors, from one generation to the next. But today, in a fast-paced world where individual identity sometimes grows louder than community, some of these threads are loosening. Some stories are beginning to fade. So I reached out to the youth, the future of Nagaland, students growing up in a world that is traditional and modern at the same time. We asked them to go back to their elders, their grandparents, their clan storytellers, not just to record stories, but to listen with empathy.
नमस्कार किन आसे खाना से है
이저 이 죄녀서가 어서 상조 첨대몽하러 된 제용하러 된 이노 레롤랑하러 된요 로빈닝하러 된또나 아통강하러 잔다 세저 이 죄니
언니 언제 그냥 초라나 뭐죠?
얘는 주디냐 어예 university 카든 에카쇼
ana project shi 처음 지죠 project MPT oral history 수사죠 시죠 능고모 준나 초안잖아 project 시죠 oral stories 에 빔지 뭐지 초란 표란장에서도 정말 나가 society 장시 에디 로타 society는 에디 tradition 에디 custom 장에서도 정말 니 저거나죠 시죠 고도에서도 project 시죠
엘름 뭐나 해줘 나 시사에도 차바 뭐좀에가나 시사에 이태 김에가나 예 올란도란 하우스에 에도 차바 뭐저 엘름 봉모증아
에디 나라라 능 인산 저 엘름 주포 란스다 하 엘름 주포 정말 인산다 돌리 생점다 저 고돌리 오프 초덕다라 고돌리 오프 초덕다 오다레디나
인산다 생점다 저 오프 초덕 고저죠 어예 저까지도나 저까지도 인조 생각해다 려라 메가나 콘다로다 오니저 긴해다 메가나 잔다 하지도 려라 호전이 있다로 나 생각도나죠 아나 초텔랴 나 초텔랴 오니저 저까지 등요고 아나 호도 초저 호도도나 난생이 호도도나 오예 난시나 호도도나 오예 발레라나 니저 那是的是难道我的手。
很多人是咯，现在的，Q 这种，你听得出来，听得出来的都不能难是的是。我吃了东西没那我到这个那种，难是到这了是挨了么不做做，我说好只要吃我吃了东西的事情没那的，对啥，
这里弄个了就一点变子么，这样就我从我弄看嘛了的就弄，懂吗？就我做着了都热带就对了。
好像默默这样那段老人，哎，的怎么这着，我从我弄看，怎么这。哎，看到咋？弄我哎，这种摩天生的人看，都看到了啊，河南红冲一瓦的，河南震动一瓦的，河南热我哎问，大年是好多历史大都是55年来的，趁我弄出哪里好知道吧呢？干嘛好知？趁。河南这边那河南人还说你别了，
我谈别。
我谈别些啥？干嘛或者1米嘞，或者8嘞，多让他们，或者还是1 kilo 多嘞，我是或者听1多嘞，都车那或者都看到了说卡，摩天上人看，这怎么这看住了？
那这喏。Nyoralan cuco, unggul obong tengjo ulralan jelo banjo. Kama ulralan jelo, enungu tongjelum tonggada ye, o gize tobe meda jagazum jandas, o zumin haze bado chona, ede o pobodanan de tumzumujana, adurandelo yanzu, tantoda, dolino yandeng yanri. 1953 lo 오야시 뱅가서 우리 존나 소라라 우리 존나서 그럼 우리 존이 호준스나 안즈로 차가던 거 동거 좀 와서 오야 오기 길에 하층에서 되는 것도록 스 동거 좀 와서 1954로 층이다서 아마요 1954로 에데 양탄실로 층이 아무주고 birthday celebration
I used to hear many different stories about the establishment of the village. Some they say that we came from Moilan, half of us came from Moilan, and I think we were scattered before everywhere. I asked them like what they used to eat before because I heard that once our village was burned down.
What do they eat that time then?
I think they were just eating like. Some were saying that they were eating rice with salt, but I don't think it's true or like they're just bluffing it.
그래서 리셰시 리치제호 괜찮은 거 봤어마.
나가면서 리치 헤디에 헤병우도는 그 깨끗배냐네 결국에 사보는거래. 대저 나가면리로 미펠레모니 우토 흘레게비 하포리 미펠레디 루어모 우토 우키츠레야 우토 예지레야 우토 가스가냐골리레야 우토 쿠뉴벨리페리레야 소고페테 니주기조리 시디 호니호 젤레피야 우토 우자즈레모 사실 몇보 마보 치즈 몇보 보페테도 몇보 대국에서 보테즈로 시디 대미가 경매제가 그러히디 몇보 마보 쳐봐도 빼대가 그러야 사실 몇 우기 울리는 하냐 말아가 쓰가냐 무백랄로 서버게서도
수호니 하하 실제로 할리베타세 때문에 루카자 바 뭐 나신하라 하고 하 白头白个别，我错么啦？什么个说？那边个字说过是，搞不到子了，这好好白头白个谁不得？我好好的有，好好我那打入我，我错么那么把 baby 那个叫还是不？那不个比好好洗的，才给抬头过来吃 baby 来，吃白白那个多，我看什么说？一个是那天气好好，才得来的。
이거 보도 약 보도도 에라 모른저 소리 스킹이 다루서 마 줄리가 해줘 마 이대로 다 자나 우리 존이 에즈리리바스 축제한테 바스 에누 도포 로타 도포 또 다시 이제 스킹만 총동나 에세니다 도코다 도이다 또 그날 에랑가 노허가 에쁘가 루가도면 또 그날만 다다 저퍼가 데리가도 면도 그나 키지리 수공 같은 거지 에마 다다 조유다 호도 로다쇼가 말로 다도 거의 작로 능산다도 푸 의 에마 다 생점다도 푸 용시다도 푸도 호도 이제 또 그나도 저 앵아 체체야
Good morning tuh.
Morning.
Jo amni na lo kahanian jano kana ala se mon na.
अच्छा.
To amni da interview na korge mic lagai do de.
अच्छा.
Ko jauna.
ini poila ini for father khanto achikali to amra khanto English te chana chani hwa pisu to meaning para koina. Aro negative positive ina koina. Holebi ama khanto itu sai na gana bara koi to ini pahar ini never laga posti khebina aro lab nisna poila achikali amna khan to lab koi to ama khan maitam kuri enaga holebi kotha bara no hikona gana bara koi to gana bara itu hobole ase bi kobo enaga hole chani jai to itu gana meaning chani kana to o itu ase bole gana bara chani loi itu tu poila laga fofate temti isu bra kenti kana thakise naga manuke itu thakise holebi poila tu itu ki kobo itu kak pata na pata inaga seling kobo na itu nam tu ki hobo itia alung lung lai seling kole phano le tibodo na aro moila nam tu linon na linon seling kole phano le tibo na inwa to long life aro kismat asna nai ko na nam bi inaga sale kure kana ti thaka tu papa ama khan ena koi thakis ito lap song tu nisna na achikale amna khan to lap song koi to holebi chokri swali khan ekjon de moram kora itu na pahuri bo memory kane to na maya gang pu mai tok phayo yan sung o sa ning le gang lo ba am tai dai man tha pan pu yo chi jing pang bom lam to man tha pan pu yo
Stories are memories, and then memories has to be continued, and only through our memories we try to continue with our identity. And if that memory stops, then we can never continue. When we are talking about Naga society, then Naga society is to do with community. See, it's like when we're talking about empathy, then empathy is not just an individual feeling, right? But it is to do with it actually intertwined with this community identity. So community should always be there.
Manu Murigina, Atmado, ito Atmano e fale okabali jai. Amalaka bustejo, okaje ikta mountain na. Tati mal Atmado take. Ulebe langvangong na. Ito kan Atmado, amalong diay. Longrang ba. Aro tati chita sije. Tuiza se. Monziki kwe ikta ikalasina. Alaka sije ikal do. Tangon wala noe. Walang horo. Aro ito lamba. Aro tayo ka na at muzo yati pera bo. Aro pesa ka na siya. Morong diye amar training kora amare sije ikya. Ek chumbi na. Amar sarang 14 15 day morong dia admit kuresya morong do abone no sajebi baisho bula tam lamba korbanabo aro tati rati amaka tati utaya humai aro kiba kusiji hala koraone hoila makan jabo naga ari jonungai do ejo so to amakan pusti kiki ase Manu Morisha na ke Gorisha ito so amakan arisyon nung ito ko
We call it Peli. Peli is one of the primary society of the same age group. Every day we used to exchange services. Suppose if we are one Peli, then today if all of us serve in my field. Maybe tomorrow in your field. The following day in his field. In this way, till all work in all our members' field are finished. It will go round and round.
Kibakang ekta pisi pukikina pura manu, pore manu, enoka ailebe John teka kando itu kang to uthalo bola. Taituk to shabolaka. Manukan enuka motrop na thakile to eto meaning hi nai. Aro eto manuloke moram nokora to chonam nopora hai phal. Eto manuloke moram kuri bolake. Tuk suk manuloke shabolake. Achi kari. Ake papa khan bi eko kapu chabut na rakhele bi moram thake. Achi kari e man phal humode moram to thake bolake. Oh, lungkam katang tebu majar bu at telang tonga lapti arekta. Oh, lungkam kayang kongwe sangram yung kong ay koyum ria tangang sini. Lungkam de au ya sopto naga torikena laki sima lota au izobra au manude amar boiseje Our phone number go today. Title. Our phone number samagan. Amar lungkam overte ekjomi na our reje. Hizo time de. Pusti so to amagan pusti gana papa matishe. Papa matishe ayena ayebo akse boy akse. Hoy taiga nalebo kore khate kibo bocha gorebo aro korabo taiga na jamje biche tao Aro shell na itu je, amar pusti je. Itu api shell, itu api spear saja amar laka. Tadi kan do, kawari bukan na papa mati kena naga aise. Amar pusti aibo, tadi kan pe 30-40 manu aibo, aro kawari tiga na akse goe, ya akse jole jo friend hoise, al sanji hoise, tadi kan Papa, makan naya cete, nama bibite, tok niti bibite, naga kuriya na, akse do, tay kampi ay na, amar kujibi boy cete, tusan manu koila.
This treaty and restoration is the clearest expression of empathy. So when we look at the practices, then these practices, the peace, treaty, and restoration, actually symbolizes communal empathy by promoting trust and then acceptance and harmony within the community after a conflict.
Our concept of treaty means Nagas are very popular around the world because of headhunting culture. But amidst the headhunting culture, there is a hidden value in the minds of the people for want of peace and tranquility. It is there in the invocation poetry.
My village had a war with another village in Manipur, and that village remained to be the historical enemy of my village. But after becoming a Christian village, we realized that we must close the chapter of enmity, and that's how two villages met, celebrated, forgive each other, and became friends.
Tanya sangano tikidang sutanarang sobaliba mamater ala editaliemo emalemo de mamater ala choy mamater ala de sanaba zamtangat mayudang sanabiba zmarana zmayudan sobaliba gomatsera ala sobaliba wa ba changra milak chongwe ana tinaga chutan naga bazar ariwa joko gordera chutanle ajak sidango achutanle sangwa tongo tanle Allah ka bazal ro ko imrabe apal ro so ko imrabe da achutan naga kivongo ga sakar Allah no ta so naga
aro kho tango ke tango swali paise kure to tai ke to pangpo kuri itu tu amakan party kura ana so matibo ena hodana tatu maribo te tatu maribo first to thank to yati maribo sigi amakan ke itu tu amakan de award hisab nisna ase de apna kan kri chu thwa nisna ase tikri ro nisna
bacha
tangol pacha hole mai ki sob ke yati pula tatu maribo na itu bise de yati maribo itu nel te na
ai phang chu me a oi na sha wan je pe me ai sak tok chu ai chu aya amitayu la chu mantala yang ni chele yong aya chu phe ma ai yong a tôi tali ai ma aya chu aya na sha ango ngak mama.
Rituals like the tattooing process for our Naga girls, because after the process there is a period of rest. And then there is also these girls who were detached from the domestic duties and responsibilities, showing the community's support for the individual who is undergoing a transformation. That is the rites of passage, because tattooing is very painful, and then they have to raise, right? So, and then there were also taboos where men were not allowed during the tattooing, and that way it also create space between men and women.
Chu chawana jemi misu wa hatai ta ar chu la sela po ji su la ya sa ji mai kap yan om mi bong lang la lang mi ai halu sa thata sela ki wak la nga ni sia yu lang la thau ni kyan mi po ya mana san yan nam te ya mi ta se mi kom chu hala tai ke la man e chok nam tu wa ma chale cha phai sep chem la au ye ngo ta biok ngo mai po ngo la pang chen yi an ma phai nào chỉ là lùm vậy thế mà gì như nhà mình quan trọng gì à hay gì như nhà mình quan trọng gì à bu cả em mình hay tại cả làm vậy là chỉ mình chân nhân năm cả ngàn rồi đi với mình nhà quan người à khu gì muốn mình ai à chú làm mình ai làm mình không gian này à cái phải nào à bu yang pa yang cái coi hạt tang cái tay hàm muốn năng hàm muốn là có mình coi hạt tang mà chú từ nãy coi là anh bố coi suy mình tay ba đi vậy yêu.
I keep telling my students that your generation is very individualist. You don't want to mingle with people. The moment you finish your business, you just go back to your phone and then you spend your time. And then they are also very lazy.
I feel like our generation is more empathetic comparing to our to our parents' generation, because if we were to compare, their life is like very peaceful comparing to ours. It's like for us, so we have lots of pressures, even in our studies, our friends, our families, like this and that stuff. We have lots of pressures. We used to learn a lot from our friends as well, like the stuff like which they don't even want to talk about to others, like the struggles that they are going through.
để做成做来得做的政治，我吃我的事情我都过做过来，那我出来漂亮红红，我可以出来红红，好多的时间变个的了，都出那，也得做的政治还或者啥，也得能对时间变个的那或者这个提给我去那如何这判办那样了个嘛，我的事情还红那的，对啥，
ma punyu pan ina, nah. Nicu gitu insiden hule papi sabi ina type.
Mata mi pan.
Oh itu.
Nicu phabana, manu kebi phabana. Itu kuasa. Mata mi pan, ma kule tu nicu, mi kule tu alak. Itu nicu bi phabana, alak kebi phabana ko. Mata mi pan. Ina kuasa. Amakan kota tu. Bisi phan nai tu kota tu.
Oh itu kuah.
So my mother started this orphanage in 1973 by one child. When she was very young, she used to dream. She was having a dream, playing with the kids, eating with the kids. That dreams keep on coming. And after 1973, she didn't realize. And 1984-5, that time she told me one day, I don't know, but now I don't have that dream again. इतना साल तक वो ड्रीम आया ही नहीं है. That time sometimes we don't have anything to eat also. And Amma always says, don't worry. You just pray to God. To laugh equally is the toughest man. And what I'm thinking about this child, only God knows.
So we come from so many backgrounds, so many denominations, and so many cultures. But when we come here, we stay as a family. We don't talk about you are from this tribe or you are from this place. We never talk about this, but we just consider everyone as brothers and sisters, as a big family.
The batakan la meat hai na lage, juta na lage. Ki lage batakan ha? Morom, love.
Like mother plays a very important role in the families, or mothers are primary socializing agents where they're teaching the children the importance of sharing, the importance of cooperation, where they are emphasizing on the modesty and also proper conduct, doing still the sense of empathy and also social responsibility in the younger generation.
I think it's good if every young Naga person
has enough curiosity to really know what is our history, to really understand where we are now. Because actually we were just thrown like that into the unknown, in the sense we were thrown out of what we knew to be real life. Suddenly we are in this thing trying to come to terms with what others are telling us is real life. I always say that it's not a fault of the elders, because they were stopped from, ours was the oral tradition, so it was stopped. Our elders were stopped from passing on. The young people don't know because it was not told to them, so this gap exists, in that sense. So I think in this day and age, especially when everything is so I and everything is so instant, I think it's a good practice, to just pause a moment, or do an exercise with the students, that they also try to practice this or pass it on, or like that in their own work and in their own lives.
Itu likha pura inaga civilized wa pisote he Naga to ekjun ke moram kurigana, na parachat ke bhi chokhai digana, na chana ke bhi chanai digana. Inaga Naga to ekta thakili phala se koina mudu phabana kuri. Chu dai wan pan mai pu pham sa manyu now. Lik cham cham ma lik mai hua. Gang yong ring sa cham ma ngao pering sa. Yo we le mi kaya ma yo.
Like there is a saying which goes like, if you want to understand a person, try walking a mile in his shoes.
After doing this project, try to practice to be more empathetic with others, so that again understand their emotions, and also so that I won't hurt them in any way.
Naga kala bingo punang tiksa.
Ko cha ko li cha le.
He's saying like after crossing this year he will be turning to 106. That's why like we are counting in terms of fields.
Yes.
We are cultivating long game field this year, and then next year we will be going to Kumhua. So based on that one, like he's counting the age.
So I feel like oral history is important, and we should incorporate these things in school also, so that the student will be able to do research on their own village or tribe.
We should be more empathetic towards others. We should not always think for ourselves. We should think from other perspective, because we never know what other people are going through.
I believe the data collection process was a learning curve for all of us. For those who did, I believe they have done a wonderful job by bringing in the insights with regards to food, culture, the stories, the people's history, the kind of insights that they have given with regards to empathy is really, really enlightening in so many ways.
Moi ekta etu kana puri bote, etu lap song. Mai dan pong nake lap hang ngao pa pong ma sinu.
We interviewed her grandfather and then my grandmother, and that way, since it's our own grandparents, we're like more comfortable with them, and while we are making videos, and also we are more comfortable in correcting them as well. To come up with the word empathy in our own dialect, it was like very hard to explain it to them, because when we try to translate English word to our dialect, it's like we can't come up with the exact word sometimes.
For me, I learned empathy from my parents. When there's like problem in family, financial or emotionally, even me, I wanted to put myself in their shoe and understand them. So for me, that's how I know empathy.
We have found something precious, a reminder that the most human quality we carry, the one that will shape our future, our relationships, and our place in this world, is empathy.
It's very hard to define empathy because when you feel it, you know it, and when there is a lack of it, you know it. But it's something that is so directly felt in a very subtle way, but in a very profound way, no? Because empathy is a feeling towards something, so another human being. So it's like going out of yourself, but that process brings you inside yourself, like deep inside you, you know. That's the one way I would define it. That makes the being in a human, like, in us, in that sense, yeah.
I grew up listening to my grandparents narrate folk tales to me, sitting around the traditional fireplace in the village. Although I did not grow up here, I spent most of my childhood summers with my grandparents in the village. It showed me a world that I wouldn't know existed otherwise. In my mind, I can still imagine my paternal grandfather, a sternly disciplined man and a well-built man who always insisted that you get the morning air, which in his words were purest at the break of dawn. It was here in my beloved homeland that I learned everything about terrace cultivation. I always think that the way our forefathers express themselves is so lyrical, and this, I think, is also deeply enrooted in the Naga culture, that we have this legacy of storytelling where many of our folk tales, folk songs, and stories of our rich culture and tradition have been passed down from generations to generations.
I even remember one of my elder always singing, which goes like, "O ahu nangaring bu jai song ba kudlahai achamara ku ko I nakurau yo."
All these customs and traditions have been started by our forefathers. I think we need to follow their footsteps. As a youngster, knowing our own traditions and customs is very important. As a youngster, I want to convey a message to our generation that I think it's time for us to give more importance to all these traditional dance, folk stories, and then like we can also put them into practice and then pass it on to our generation.
Kita hanu lukar donu temeroni ke territory shumel huse ke hero hakre pekrumenyo machani uche do iti umelununu ke kelhuchele pesukajami okelhumu umhalepete vithojapu teminyenusha kajami tie Melia Wakanya Hasim Hale Fipre Huderi Wajapume Hasiko Pura Tekel Hume Petosati Modi Radiatory Zomotad Lomu Menyo Dari Pukamukivi Edim Hale Henu Tsutadi Hukerime Pasipuke Zosu Shiho Heni Unia Ujefume Pemol Humane Melesheri the Hopuru Shaw Jodi Kunhe Vito Goshe Teme Mosho Gemule Iro Udipekra Tedome Diache Delezenu Vito Beso Mo Shosunu Rangu Krikatse Oje Kreshe Vitomu Deli Hogomhaye Jekoko Sinu Hakeviku Tedonu Seche Kratinyeki Didi Gazache Sijuze Sodake Moche Pet Jasunu Abutenu Deko